Welcome, adventurers, to our epic storytelling realm. Here, we dive into legendary tales, mythical creatures, and unforgettable heroes. Each week, we explore stories that ignite the imagination and transport you to worlds beyond your wildest dreams. So, gather round, unleash your inner hero, and let the adventure begin. Don't forget to subscribe for your front row seat to the extraordinary. It was a crisp Friday afternoon at Maplewood College, the kind of day that begged for adventure. As students hustled to finish their assignments and head home for the weekend, three friends, Ethan, Mia, and Lucas, sat at their usual spot in the campus cafe, sipping coffee and discussing their plans. "Let's do something epic this weekend," Mia suggested, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "What did you have in mind?" Ethan replied, raising an eyebrow. He was always the cautious one, but he loved the thrill of adventure just as much as his friends. "I heard about this enchanted forest just a few hours from here. It's supposed to be filled with mythical creatures and breathtaking views. We should hike it," Mia exclaimed. Lucas leaned back in his chair, grinning. "That sounds amazing. Count me in. We'll make a weekend of it." Ethan hesitated. "It's probably just a tourist trap. What if it's dangerous?" "Come on, Ethan. Where's your sense of adventure? We can handle it," Mia urged. The idea of exploring the unknown was intoxicating, and soon Ethan found himself swept up in their enthusiasm. "Okay, let's do it, but we need to prepare properly. I'm not going to let you two get us into trouble," he said, trying to sound serious. The next morning, they loaded up Lucas's old Jeep with camping gear, snacks, and a map. As they drove, the excitement in the air was palpable. The road wound through picturesque valleys, with towering trees lining the route. They played music, laughed, and made plans for their hike. Once they arrived at the forest's entrance, a thick mist cloaked the ground, giving the place an otherworldly feel. The path ahead was narrow and overgrown, flanked by towering trees, whose branches twisted skyward like ancient giants. "Remember, stay close together," Ethan instructed as they stepped onto the trail. The further they went, the more vibrant the forest became. The sounds of chirping birds and rustling leaves filled the air, creating an enchanting melody. Mia, who had always been fascinated by myths, began sharing stories of the creatures said to inhabit the woods: fairies, trolls, and even a legendary unicorn. Lucas listened intently, his imagination running wild. As they ventured deeper, the trees seemed to close in around them, creating a natural cathedral. The sunlight filtered through the leaves, casting dappled shadows on the forest floor. They followed a stream that sparkled like diamonds, and every now and then, a rustle in the bushes made them pause. "Did you hear that?" Lucas whispered, a mix of excitement and fear in his voice. "It's probably just a squirrel," Ethan replied, but even he felt a shiver of anticipation. After hours of hiking, they reached a clearing where the stream widened into a small, shimmering pond. They decided to take a break, setting down their backpacks and munching on trail mix. As they rested, a soft glow began to emanate from the far side of the pond. "Is that?" Mia started, her voice trailing off. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the trees. A small, delicate creature with wings that shimmered like iridescent glass. It hovered above the water, inspecting the trio with curious eyes. "A fairy," Mia gasped, her face lighting up with wonder. Ethan and Lucas exchanged incredulous glances. "Is this real?" Lucas whispered, awestruck. The fairy, sensing their presence, darted closer. "You're not from here," she chimed, her voice like tinkling bells. "What brings you to our enchanted realm?" Mia, unable to contain her excitement, replied, "We wanted to explore. We've heard so many stories about this place." The fairy smiled, revealing tiny pearly teeth. "Then you must be cautious. The forest holds both beauty and danger. Follow me if you dare." With hearts racing, the friends exchanged glances, then nodded. They followed the fairy through the trees, deeper into the forest. The fairy led them to a hidden glade bathed in golden light, where flowers glowed with an otherworldly radiance. In the center stood a grand tree with bark that shimmered like silver. "This is the Tree of Whispers," the fairy explained. "It holds the memories of the forest and grants wishes to those pure of heart. But be warned, not all wishes come without a price." "What kind of price?" Ethan asked, suddenly wary. "The heart knows," she replied cryptically, then flitted away to gather flowers. As they stood in awe of the tree, Mia's mind raced. "What if we each made a wish?" Lucas nodded enthusiastically. "I wish for an adventure we'll never forget." Ethan hesitated but finally spoke. "I wish to find true courage." Mia closed her eyes and whispered, "I wish for magic in my life." Just as they finished, the ground trembled slightly, and the tree's bark glowed brighter. Suddenly, 3 radiant orbs of light floated from the tree, surrounding each of them. A moment later, they vanished into the air, leaving behind a lingering warmth. But just as they were marveling at what had happened, a low growl echoed from the trees. A massive creature emerged, a wolf with fur like shadows and eyes that glowed a piercing blue. "Protectors of the forest," it growled, its voice rumbling like thunder. "You have disturbed the balance. Each wish must be earned." "What do you mean?" Ethan demanded, stepping protectively in front of Mia and Lucas. "The forest will test your courage, heart, and friendship. If you fail, you shall never leave," the wolf warned, baring its teeth. Before they could react, the ground beneath them shifted, and they found themselves in a dark cavern, illuminated only by glowing crystals. "Stay together," Ethan shouted as they stumbled forward. Suddenly, a wall of shadows closed in, forming dark figures that lunged at them. Lucas grabbed a nearby crystal and hurled it at the shadow, which burst into wisps of smoke. "Nice shot," Mia exclaimed, gathering her courage. They fought back, using the crystals as weapons against the shadows that seemed to embody their deepest fears. Lucas faced a version of himself, lost and alone, while Ethan confronted a shadowy figure of failure. Mia, meanwhile, found herself surrounded by memories of doubt, but she pushed through, reminding herself of the magic they sought. Together, they vanquished the shadows, emerging back into the light of the glade, panting but victorious. "Now you face the final trial," the wolf's voice echoed, this time from above as it reappeared, its eyes intense. "You must choose, save yourselves or save the forest from a great peril." Mia gasped. "What do you mean?" "There is a storm approaching. A dark sorceress seeks to harness the Tree of Whispers for her own gain. You can flee, or you can fight." Ethan, glancing at Mia and Lucas, felt a surge of determination. "We can't let that happen. We came here for magic, and we can't let it fall into the wrong hands." "Agreed," Lucas said, his fear replaced by resolve. "We fight." The trio ventured toward the source of the impending storm, where the sky churned with ominous clouds. They soon spotted the sorceress, a tall figure cloaked in dark robes, her hands raised as she summoned bolts of lightning. "You dare challenge me?" she sneered, her voice dripping with malice. "We won't let you take the tree," Mia shouted, stepping forward. The sorceress laughed, and with a wave of her hand, shadows leapt toward them. The friends fought bravely, using their newfound courage and the magical crystals. With each blow, they weakened the shadows and gained strength from their friendship. In a final surge of energy, Ethan focused all his courage and charged at the sorceress, while Mia and Lucas flanked her. As they combined their powers, the crystals pulsed with light, and the shadows evaporated. The sorceress, caught off guard, stumbled backward. "No, this cannot be!" With one last effort, Mia raised her hand, and the light from the Tree of Whispers enveloped them. "You're not welcome here," she declared, and with a brilliant flash, the sorceress vanished, the storm dissipating. As the sun broke through the clouds, the trio collapsed on the ground, gasping for breath but overwhelmed with triumph. The wolf appeared once more, its demeanor softening. "You have proven your worth. The forest is safe, and for your bravery, the magic of the forest shall be yours to keep." "What does that mean?" Lucas asked, still catching his breath. The wolf nodded toward the Tree of Whispers. "You may return whenever you wish. The magic will guide you. You are now protectors of this realm." Mia's eyes sparkled. "We did it. We really did it." As they made their way back to the clearing, the forest felt alive with energy. They exchanged stories, laughter, and dreams of their next adventure. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting golden rays through the trees. They knew they would return to the enchanted forest, their hearts forever changed by the experience. Driving back to campus, the 3 friends felt an unbreakable bond. They had faced their fears, discovered magic, and fought for something greater than themselves. "Next time, let's bring more snacks," Lucas joked, and they all laughed, knowing that together, they could conquer anything. And deep in the heart of the enchanted forest, the Tree of Whispers stood proud, its magic forever entwined with the spirits of 3 brave friends. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey today. If you enjoyed the story, Make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow adventurers. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss a new tale. What epic story should we explore next? Drop your suggestions in the comments below. Until next time, keep dreaming big and chasing the extraordinary. See you in the next adventure.